And welcome to Dunrovin Ranch. Welcome to Days at Dunrovin. I'm Ashley. I'm the ranch manager here. And today I'm bringing you a special segment of Oggy Goes Back to School. So this is Oggy. He is our 4-year-old Tennessee walking horse colt. I guess he is still. He is a gelding, which means he's a castrated male, and he lives out his days here at Dunrovin. And he's pretty much the prince of Dunrovin. He's the spoiled baby that is so beautiful that everyone loves, which means that he doesn't always have the best manners when it comes to people or other horses or anything, because nobody has really asked anything of him. I did work with Oggy over the winter. We worked on some ground manners and teaching him to drive, to pull a stone boat behind him, which is like a big sled. And we did that via teletraining with Brandon Carpenter. And so he was giving me direct instruction on, which tool to use or how to connect things up and things like that. But I wanted to get Oggy back into school because, it's August coming up. Our rides are slowing down. Everyone's going back home. Everyone's kids are going back to school. So why not have our little kid go back to school here? So what I'm planning on working with Oggy is getting him kind of back into the groove of listening to people, respecting what people are asking of him and not him making the decisions. So we're going to work on just a little bit of walking and trotting around the round pen here, kind of get him sharp and listening to me again. And then we'll work on some desensitization, which is very important, especially if we want a good trail horse. We want our horses to be, they use the term bomb-proof, just to kind of, suggest that nothing would scare the horse. You definitely want your horse to have a little bit of awareness of what's going on around them and a little bit of reactivity, but you don't want them spooking at every single little thing. So we're gonna use some tarps, we're gonna use some feed bags, we'll use cans in a bag just to kind of get things that rattle around. We'll drag some poles behind him, just kind of everything that we can put him through to get him ready to go out on the trails one day, so that way he's not just terrified of everything. Because horses are prey animals. Their first instinct is either fight or flight. And usually they'll just want to run away from whatever it is that's scaring them and get away from it. So we want to train him that he can have a reaction, but that reaction needs to be in place and he needs to be able to collect himself right after and calm himself down. So that's what we're going to work on today. We're going to start a little bit of that. And then we'll do that for a few minutes, and at the end, I want to start some trick training with him. I would like to teach him a few commands, at least just one today. I want to teach him the command touch. So I want him to be able to bring his nose to anything that I point to and touch it. So we're going to do a little bit of clicker training like Mackenzie has been doing with the divas. I'm going to try it out. We're going to try it out with him and see where we get to today. You'll see that I have this blue rope halter on him, and rope halters are fantastic for training because they're a smaller point of pressure, and it's just a little bit more concentrated pressure to get them to kind of pay attention to what's going on. And so if you use the big nylon webbed halters, they can kind of push into it, they can push against it and kind of resist what you're asking them to do. But if I was to pull back on his nose right here, it's an instant back up. And I don't have to put that much pressure on him. So I can use a lighter hand with it and get a better response than if I did with my wider band on the other halter. So I'm gonna go ahead and unhalter him right here for our walking around portion. I wanna get him nice and warmed up. We'll actually do the little pre-ride check that we do with all the rest of the horses to get him used to doing that too. So I'm gonna ask him to come forward a little bit. We're gonna whoa, and we're gonna go back. I'm gonna walk backwards. And this is something I've already trained him to do. Back, back, just putting gentle pressure on his nose. Whoa. Very good boy. I'm gonna ask him forward again. I basically just want him to follow my command and do what I want him to do. Whoa, good boy. Good job. I'm gonna give him scratches on his neck today. I know he likes scratches on his face, so we're trying to keep it as neutral as possible for the praise. Good job. So I'm gonna come around here to his hindquarters, and this is something that we do with all of our horses. We ask them to turn their hindquarters away from us. That way we can look at their feet down on the ground and see that they're crossing over. And that lets us know a few things. One, that their legs are okay and that there's nothing stuck in their feet hurting them. And two, it lets us know everything's going on okay neurologically. If there was something wrong, with their brain or their nervous system, they might stumble, or they wouldn't be able to cross their legs over, or they might just fall down when asking to bring their legs underneath them. So we want to make sure that that's not going to happen. So I'm going to have him bring his head towards me, and I'm going to push his butt away with my hand. I can put a little bit of pressure here with my hand and ask him to turn away from me. He's gotten a lot better at doing this. And whoa, good boy, whoa, good job. Good job, buddy. And then I'm gonna ask him to turn his head towards me. So this is something that we haven't practiced that much, so we're gonna do nice and slow. I'm gonna give him lots of chances to get it right. I'm gonna hold onto his halter here, and I'm gonna gently pull his head towards me until he gives. Good. And then I'm gonna release my pressure so he knows he did the right thing. Good boy. And I'm gonna ask again. I'm gonna gently pull towards me, and as soon as he turns his head like that, I'm gonna release. So he knows he's going in the right direction because horses learn from the release of pressure. So if I were to keep constantly pulling on it, he might not understand that he's doing the right thing, and then he might start to fight it, push his head off to the side. I want this to be very good for him. So we're gonna have him turn his head a little bit. As soon as he gives to my pressure, not backwards, not backwards. If we go backwards, I'm gonna put him right back where he was. Whoa. And I'm just gonna get him to gently turn his head. Nope. Anytime he takes a step back, I'm gonna put him right back where he was. Whoa. And I'm gonna ask him to turn his head again. Good boy, woo. He's very oral fixated, so he likes chewing on things, which is why I think he would be good at holding a paintbrush. So we're gonna teach him that trick maybe in a few days, but I don't teach him to touch first. Turn your head. Woo. I can feel his body shifting backwards. Good, he's already here. Good boy, good boy. And we want them to turn their heads towards us because it gives us good lateral flexion. It's a good stretch for their neck, nice little yoga pose. And it also allows us to look into their eye at the same time. So we want to make sure that their eyes are nice and clear. There's no hay stuck in it, no scratches or anything like that. So he's paying attention to Miss Anya over there. Back. Good boy, woo. I'm gonna give that one more try. I'm gonna get him to turn his head towards me. A little bit more. A little bit more. Turn your head. Turn your head. Turn your head. And as soon as I feel him soften up, I will release my pressure. So he stepped back, so I'm gonna step him forward again. Step. Good boy. Good job. Good boy. That's it. That's all I want is a little bit of a head turn. All right. And I'm gonna come around and do the same thing on the opposite side because horses have eyes on either side of their head and they see the world differently out of those two eyes. Over here on this left side, he can see me right here. And over here on the right side, he can see those other stalls with the ponies and the donkeys. And so he's learning, he's bringing information in from both eyes, and he's making one picture together here in his brain. So whenever we do training with horses, we always want to make sure that what we train on one side is the same thing that we train on the other side, so that way both sides are equally knowledgeable about how to do it. So I'm going to come around to his right side over here. I'm keeping my hand low so he knows I'm not asking him to come with me. And then I'm going to pull his head towards me, and I'm going to ask him to move away. So sometimes they're not as good on one side as the other, which is why it's important to practice both sides as well. Good boy. Good job. We got good crossover here. Good job. A little bit more, and I want to stop your butt in front of the camera. And whoa. Good boy. I know he wants some head scratches. We're not, no. Over there. Good job, mister. Nope, nope. And this is what I mean about respecting people's boundaries. He wants to come in, he wants to be in my lap, in my pocket, hanging out with me. And what he needs to understand is that he is a large 1,200-pound animal. I am a 100-and-something-pound human. And so I want to be safe on the ground, and I want him to be aware of where he is around me. And so you'll see with a lot of the other horses, they will they'll stay away a little bit. They're definitely people-friendly. But when you are ready for them to get out of your space, they will listen to you. They will respect that boundary. He hasn't learned that yet because nobody's asked it of him. So when he comes into my space, I'll push him away. I'll be like another horse. I'll be mean to him. I'll kind of push him away. I don't want him in my personal space. He could seriously hurt me if he were to spook or run off or something like that, and I don't want him to be right there on top of me. So I'm gonna ask him the same thing over here is to turn his head. You don't need to chew on the rope. You don't need to chew on the rope. Let go. Let go. Let go. Let go. So I'm gonna put my left hand up here on his shoulder. I'm gonna grab with my right hand over to his halter. And just until he gives, good boy. Step. Put him back where he was, whoa. Just until he gives to that little bit of pressure, and then I'll release. Turn your head, good boy. Good boy, all the way around. Wow, look at you, good stretch, whoa. Back, back, whoa. Good job. I'll try that one more time with him. And the more that we ask him to do this, the better he will get at it. Some of the other horses are not the greatest at it either. You're being so weird. You don't need to chew on the rope. We need to get your feet moving here soon, mister. So I'm grabbing onto his nose because it'll make him let go of things. Let go. All right. I'm gonna bring him up a step here because he's a little offsides, and I want to put him exactly where I want him. Whoa, good job. And I'm gonna ask him to turn his head towards me one more time. Just your head. I feel him leaning back. Just your noggin. Turn your head. Turn your head just until he softens. Woo. He's just trying to eat his rope. I'm going to pull on the halter. I'm going to ask him to turn his head towards me. So anytime he starts to shift towards the back, this is him being defiant. He is a bratty little teenager. He doesn't want to do what I want him to do. He wants to do what he wants to do, which is eat the rope. So I'm going to ask him one more time. I'm going to pull his head towards me. Good boy. Very good boy. Good job. Good job. All right, mister. Let's get your feet moving. So I'm going to go ahead and take his halter off here. And he wants to eat his rope again. Let go. Let go. Let go. Let go. You're so weird. You're so weird. You're such a big baby. And I'm going to tie my halter onto the fence and put it to the outside so he's not going to step on it and run over it. So he's invading my personal space here. I'm just going to create a little bit of pressure between me and him to ask him to move. He just does not understand the whip. Good boy. Good job. I want him to learn that my hand going towards him means to get away. Good boy. Good boy. So as soon as he takes a step back, I'm going to relieve the pressure. I'm going to step back. And I'm going to ask you again. Increase my pressure until he backs up. Good boy. No, I don't need your leg. I'm going to take a step back, let him think about it. Because if I ask him to go away from me, I want him to move away. He's not very good at, if you put your hand up to him, he will kind of just nuzzle your hand. He'll move into your space even more because he wants the attention. He wants the pets. I want to reverse that, and I want it to mean, if I have my hand up here, that means you need to get away from me. You are a large animal and you're in my space. So if I'm going to come up towards him, I can be in his space. I can invite myself here. You can even tell when you're on the ground how I kind of felt him leaning back a little bit. He's like, oh, I need to respect this space here. I'm going to put my hand up. No, not the leg. Good boy. He's trying to find the answer. He's like, maybe if I paw on the ground a little bit, that might be the answer. That might get her to stop doing that. And so when he does find the answer of backing up, I want to make sure that I relieve that pressure, that he knows he did the right thing. Like, oh, the whip will stop making the sound and stop smacking me when I back up out of her space. So we're going to try the same thing again. Good boy, Oggy. And see, it only takes 3 or 4 tries before he starts to get it. He starts to understand that this means I want you out of my space. Good boy. Good boy, Oggy. I'm going to try it on that side. I'm going to switch over here to this side. I'm going to try the same thing. Good boy. Good job. Neutral pet on the neck. I'm not going to give him the praise on his head like he wants. That's a little too much. Very good job, mister. Good job. Okay, let's try something else. We'll change it up a little bit. We'll come back to that in a little bit. So I'm going to ask him to go off to the right. I'm going to ask, and then I'm going to tell. So I can ask with my hand first. I can give him a verbal cue, which is a kiss. And then if he doesn't respond to any of those, I will tell him to move by waving my stick up and down in the air. This is just an extension of my arm. It's not to hit him or harm him. However, if it does come down to if I'm needing him to move and I have to increase the pressure so much that this does make contact with him, if he were to move, that pressure would go away in an instant. And so it kind of comes down to him and his stubbornness, how much he wants to give in or not, of whether this is going to make contact with him or not. So if he wants to be a good boy and listen to my verbal and my physical cues, I don't have to use this. I'm gonna create a little bit of distance between me and him. Come on, get. Go on, get. Good. I want him to go to the outside of the fence. Good boy. That's been the first time we've had that in a while, of him just not respecting me wanting him to go around the rail. Good boy. Woo. Good job. I'm gonna play a little mind game with him. I want him to walk a few steps, and then I'm gonna ask him to stop, and then I'll ask him to walk again. So he's really paying attention to me. With Oggy's back leg, he had cellulitis, an infection in his back right leg, so we're not able to let him run. And so I really wanna play mind games with him rather than physical games. Whoa, good boy, good boy. So he's not gonna know when the next one is coming. Whoa, good boy. Whoa, good job. Whoa, good boy. Now I'm gonna ask him to turn around to the inside towards me, and I'm gonna ask him to go around the other direction in the rail. I don't wanna do this too quickly because this back right leg is gonna be his pivot point, and I don't want him to put too much stress and pressure on it. So I'm gonna ask him nice and slowly. I'm gonna back away. I'm gonna open the door on this side over here. He's not responding. I'm just gonna move my hand, my whip out here, ask him to move away from it. Good boy. Once he does what I want, I'll take the pressure away. Good job. And let him walk. Whoa. I was a little confused there, so if he didn't stop all the way, I'm just gonna have him keep going. I wasn't sure what I wanted, and I didn't put myself in the right spot. Whoa. Whoa. Good job. Yeah, I'm just not in the right spot. But it shouldn't matter. He should listen to my verbal cue as well. So I basically want to be pointed, so that way, imagine if there's a laser coming out of my chest, like the force, it's going towards the front of his shoulder, and that's where I'm focusing my energy and my pressure. And so if I were to step in front of him, I'm cutting him off. Whoa, good boy. And then I'm gonna relieve that pressure. I'm gonna turn my body away so he can walk forward. Whoa. Good boy. One more turn. Good job. Whoa. Good boy. So it's easy for him to just walk in a straight line around the arena, but if I want him to be making all these turns, he's really got to be listening to what I'm saying. It might have an effect on him to get him frustrated. I went a little speedier out of that turn. Good boy. I'm not too concerned about the speed on the right side again. We're focusing on his ankle down there. Whoa, good boy. I'm gonna start speeding up the game. Good boy. Good job. Whoa, good boy. I'm gonna give him a second to stop and think. Lick and chew. When horses start licking and chewing, it's kind of like they're chewing on what they're learning. They're switching nervous systems from their sympathetic to parasympathetic. They're gaining that new knowledge. And he's realizing that, like, okay, I'm really not in charge here, I know that. So I'm gonna come up and I'm gonna give him some praise because he's a good boy. Yeah, oh, a good guy. You're doing a good job. All right, we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna put his halter back on, but first I'm gonna grab my feed bag over here, and this is what we're gonna use to desensitize him with today. And we'll do the whip first, just so you guys can see that It's more about the intention of what you're doing with an object rather than the object itself. And so you could see as I waved the whip, he knew to go away from it. But if I just use it as an object, not as an object with a purpose, then he's not afraid of it. Oh, you're gonna help me? That's not helping. Let go, let go, let go. That doesn't help. These rope halters are so hard to get on the way that the other ones do. Okay, we're going through your nose. Going through the nose. I'm gonna reach over. No, don't eat it, Oggy. Don't eat it. You're worse than a puppy. You're worse than a puppy. Okay, so I'm gonna bring him over here to the middle so you guys can see, and I'm gonna grab my stick over here. And I try to refer to it as a stick instead of a whip, because that's all it is. It's not here to hurt him or anything. And so you can see, I can have it on the ground in front of him. He knows what it is. I can tap his shoulder with it, and I can run it on his back. You can see he's certainly not afraid of it. He knows exactly what it is. Rub it on his belly, all down his legs. And so it's super important that we get our horses used to being touched by foreign objects other than our hands, because you never know if you're out on the trail or something comes by and maybe a branch rubs up against you. You don't want your horse to freak out over a branch touching them. They need to learn that things touching them is okay and it's not scary. So we did it all on that side. I can even take it up here, run it up his neck, around his ears, down his face. He's just fine with it. I can go under his chin, under his neck. Good boy, good job. And we'll do the same thing over here, because what you train on one side, you have to train on the other. So I'm gonna run it down his neck, all along his back, down his hind legs, onto his crotch, under his belly, all the way up to his noggin, over his ears, down his face. So you can tell he's really not afraid of what's going on here. And this is the reaction that I want to something kind of new and scary. But when you have something really, really new and scary, you have a tendency to actually get a reaction. So I'm gonna take the lead rope off of him so I can step away for him a second. Now I'm gonna go grab this feed bag that's on this lead rope over here. And we did this before, very early in the summer, back when I had time to do things with Oggy. I'm gonna leave my whip over here. You better not push that door open, I'm watching you. Actually, I need his rope too. No, I don't think so. So I'm gonna grab his rope here. And he's seen feed bags before. He knows exactly what they are. But when it starts to crinkle and move all around him, then it becomes a whole brand new object. He has no idea what it is. You wanna check it out first? So I'm gonna let him kind of check it out at liberty. He just wants to eat the rope on it. And then I'm gonna drag it. Good job. So he's really curious. He really wants to check out what it is. And I'm really happy about that. I'm glad he's not afraid of it. I don't want him to run away. And it's gonna fly. And we're gonna keep walking. And he's gonna keep following it. He's a very, very curious horse. He's not very scared of many things, which is really good. I like that he's got a curious sense to him. We're gonna make it fly, and it's gonna come back down. We're gonna make it fly, and fly. See, so you can see his body gets tense when it starts moving, because he's like, where is this thing going? I'm gonna fly it all around him. Oh, he's being such a good boy. And I'm gonna get him on the back with it. Good job, and hit the ground. And same thing, I'm gonna get him on the back and let it fall down. And Jasper is like, what is going on over there? Even down to his other side, I'm gonna bring it over here. Good job. I'm gonna bring it down underneath him. No reaction, perfect. Good job, Oggy. And so this is good training for him, just to kind of get used to things flying around, making noise, being crinkly. I'm gonna bring it down over his butt. And I feel like he remembers this from last time, because he's not freaking out about it. So if I step on it, make it crinkle. let's come around to his other side. And we'll do the same kind of thing over here. Good job, Oggy. Good boy. So if you see his front legs start to paw, that's when he's getting a little concerned. That's when he's like, Mom, can we be done doing this? I'm getting a little scared. Atta boy. Good job, mister. Do it on his head. I'm sorry I smacked you in the face with it. It's all part of learning. Good job. And some horses would just be absolutely terrified by this little feed bag, waving around, crinkling on them. I'm gonna smack his little belly with it. Oh, you're just fine. You're just fine. So he's more curious than afraid, which is absolutely what I want out of him. Good job. I'm gonna take it around his front legs here. So he's good with ropes around his legs, which is a good thing. If your horse gets stuck, you don't want them freaking out. If there's a rope or something caught around their leg. And he's just really curious about what the bag is. He's like, I know my grain comes out of there. Good job, buddy. I think we're okay without his lead rope. We'll keep it here for close calls. He just really wants to know what's going on with the inside of this bag. And so next what I think we're gonna have him do is walk around with me, and I'm gonna trail this bag behind him, which is why I have it tied, so that way the buckle is on the free end. Let's try it. I'm gonna up the end T a little bit here. Good boy. Good job. Good job, mister. Good job. So no reaction to it. Except for those few steps that he backed up, he really just wants to eat what's inside the bag. So I know he's good with the bag, and I'm just gonna have him drag him behind him a little bit, because once it's attached to him, it might be a whole different story. He might also remember the last time we did this. He also really just wants to eat inside the bag. You smell it? No, don't, no, that's my hand. Don't eat my hand. That's also my ear. Don't eat my ear. I hope somebody got a screenshot of that. All right, so I'm gonna hook him up. No, I don't think so. I'm gonna hook him up to his lead rope here. We're gonna ask him to walk on. And now it's a whole different ball game with it dragging behind him. So he's doing a lot better than we did the first time. He must remember what we did the last time, or he just got a lot braver. So I'm gonna ask him to turn in a circle towards it. And he's gonna watch it move. Good job. I started waving it around and he just kind of stopped and looked at it. Good job. All right, let's walk. Walk on. Yeah, this is awesome. He's not scared of it. He's picking it up and carrying it. This is awesome. He's not scared of it at all. Whoa. All right, he's doing a good job today. You're not scared of that at all, are you? We're gonna have to pick something scarier next time. All right. The only thing he's not too sure about is if it's over his head, but he's doing such a good job. Good boy. Good boy. Don't eat my microphone. What good job. Okay. I think we're gonna call it there with the round pen and the desensitization today, because he did awesome. And so I don't wanna like sensory overload him or overwork him on the first time back into it. Just kind of let his brain get back into the learning of things. But next what we're gonna do is we're gonna start some trick training. So I'm gonna go ahead and tie him up on the rail by the wall over there, and I need to go grab my clicker trainer, or my clicker from the office over here. So I'll be back in about 2 minutes. And I wanna teach him something called touch. And basically I want him to be able to put his muzzle on wherever I instruct him to. And so if I point at the wall and say touch, I want him to put his nose there, I'll give him a click, and then I'll give him a little treat so he knows he did the right thing. And we'll repeat it until he gets really, really good at it. I should be able to have him touch my leg, I'll click him. I can have him touch my face and give me a kiss, and I'll click him. And that's gonna get us ready for what I wanna train him to do ultimately, which is to hold a paintbrush and paint on a canvas at the Equine Art Extravaganza. So we're gonna start that training for him today. So we've got good 3 weeks to learn it. So we're gonna start out with touch today, and then we're gonna practice that more throughout the week, just so he gets really, really good at it, really comfortable with that command. And then the next command would be either hold or hold it. And so if I hand him something, an object, and get him to hold it with his mouth, I wanna say hold, and he'll hold it in his teeth. So that'll be our next command that we teach. We're gonna start out with touch because that's an easy one. Thank you. So it looks like someone has magically fetched my clicker for me. I'm gonna undo his little lead rope here. Why are you so obsessed with me? When Oggy hurt his foot over the winter, I was the one taking care of him, giving him shots every day, wrapping his leg in bandages, giving him medicine. Can you not? So, we are good, good buddies. You gonna carry that? Or you just wanna eat inside of it? So obviously grain would be a good incentive for him today for the treats. Hey. I'm gonna put your whole head inside this bag. All right. Yeah, we'll have to get a tarp or something next time because obviously the feed bag's not scary enough. You gonna help me? You're gonna hold it? Okay, you carry that. I'll get the gate. Okay, I'm gonna tie him up on the rail right here. That way he's all by himself. We don't have to worry about other horses distracting us. All right, let me get situated here real quick. And I have a little pocket somewhere. Maybe we used it for one of the, oh, there it is. So I've got a little treat pocket I can put on my side, and then I'm gonna grab this bucket of grain and fill it up. That way I've got a quick way to give him a treat when he does the right thing. All right, so I've got my treat bag over here. I've got my clicker right here. Full on dog trainer going on. So let's see how we're gonna start this. Hi. So I think I'll have him, I'm just gonna point to the wall and I'm gonna say touch, and when he touches, I'm gonna give him a click and give him a treat. So he knows he did the right thing. And we'll just repeat that. Oggy, nope, back, back. This is really hard with the incentive of a grain. Oggy, touch. Oh, this clicker doesn't work. Good boy. And I'll give him a little bit of grain. I have a much higher incentive apple nugget treat for after when he does a really good job. Oggy, touch. Good job. And I don't want him to get pushy, so I'm gonna push him back where he was. Touch. Touch. Good boy. Very good. Back. Back. Touch. Touch. Good job. Touch. Touch. Good boy. I'm going to come around to his other side and I'm going to try it over there. Nope. Touch. Touch. Good boy. There's an apple nugget in that one. Touch. Touch. Good boy. Good job, mister. Let's see if I can try it on my hand. Touch. Touch. Good boy. Oh, this is gonna be easier than I thought. Yeah, you're so smart. Look at you, you're so smart. Good job. Touch. Good boy. He caught on so quick. Good job, Mr. Man. Let's try it up here. Touch. 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 Nope, not my face. Oggy, touch. Nope, that's too much. Touch. Touch. Good boy. Apple nuggets. Oggy, touch. 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 Good boy. Good job. Very good boy. All right, let's go try the other side again. Make sure he's really got it down. Back. Back. Touch. Oggy. Touch. Touch. Nope. Oggy, touch. Pay attention. Look where he's going. Losing the attention span. Touch. 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 Good boy. We'll come back in a little bit, make it a little easier, and we'll try it again. Let's try it with my flat hand now. Touch. Good boy. You're so smart. Touch. 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 Good job. So now I'm changing the cue from my finger to my flat hand. See if that'll help with the wall. Touch. Good boy. Now get it on the wall. Touch. Oggy, touch. He gets a little confused when I put it on the wall. Nope, back. Back. Touch. Good boy. Touch. 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 Getting a little lost. Touch. Good boy. You came back. You found it. I'm giving him very, very small amounts of grain, like he's basically just licking the dust off of my fingers. Touch. Touch. Good job, mister. That's a good boy. Yes, it is. Back. Back. Good boy. Touch. Touch. Good job, buddy. Good. And we'll keep practicing this all throughout the week. This is so cool. I just taught him how to do that. I think we're going to be very successful in 3 weeks to have him paint on a canvas. Touch. The more we do this, the better he's going to get at it. I would love to teach him how to kiss. Good boy. Back. He doesn't get a treat if he comes up to my space. Good job. Are we looking at the people? Touch. 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 Good boy. Good job, buddy. All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. I think we're going to try this just a few more times. Good job. Now he seems like he's got it down. He's a very, very smart horse. So we're going to be practicing this throughout the week. So if you see me tied up somewhere with Oggy, or just kind of standing on our own. I'm gonna be working with him a lot more often because I want him to get back into the swing of being used. Touch, good job. And so I want him to be, you know, getting on the track to becoming a trail horse. So when we get our horses ready for these smaller rides this week, we're gonna pull him out of this barn too. Back, back. Good boy. We're gonna pull him out of the barn so that way he can practice just standing like a good boy, because the only way that we're gonna get him to stand still is to have him practice standing still and keep that consistent. So we're gonna tie him up between a horse or two, that way he doesn't have anywhere to go really, and he'll get used to just kind of standing there. I'm gonna go wash my hands with all of this grain, and I'm gonna go put him back in the barn. I'm probably gonna move some horses around here soon, so you guys are more than welcome to watch on the cameras, but if not, we'll see you tomorrow for the sunrise tour. Bye.